Good morning, praise God if you woke you up this morning, and welcome to Junior Seminar. I'm so excited to introduce you guys to the series that I'm creating, mainly for class, but also as a six-piece self-portrait. So the first piece in this series is titled The Blooming Woman, and it is about my own birth, not me giving birth, just to clarify, but me being born into this world. There are many symbolic elements. But before we talk about that, let's talk about how it originally started off. Initially, I wanted this to be a four-piece, 8 by 10 canvas, something that you could kind of separate, showing like how it's fragmented, how life is fragmented from the start. And I was gonna go for a more natural background, but then I remembered what kind of painter I am. I like to paint mystical things. I like to paint ethereal things. Like, I like to paint surreal things. This totally was not gonna work, and I don't know what possessed me to think that painting a natural background would definitely work for this series, but it did not. Oh, excuse me. Because if there's one thing that I'm going to do, it's make something surreal. Make something disconnect from reality, because why paint about reality when we see it every day? I mean, that's just how I feel about it. No shot to anyone that paints like realism because it's really cool, but it's just not for me. So, this was the revised sketch, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm very happy with this. So, the object was to have the woman blooming, actually like sprouting from a seed, and just almost in a morning stretch pose, like she's being woken up for the first time. Um, And so, yeah, back to the symbolism that I mentioned briefly. The moon phase present here is let's see if I remember. Um, I want to say it's a waning crescent moon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the moon phase that was present at my birth, which I love taking pictures of the moon. I love everything that God created. It's really fascinating to see how different things mean different things to different people. Symbolism is really dependent upon personal experience and also culture. So, yeah, I decided to go with some things that meant a lot to me. So, I decided to paint my skin essentially pink because pink to me is softness, femininity, vulnerability, and those are three things that I really wanted to accentuate in this series, being that these are all new things to me. I decided to make my hair sunflower petals instead of regular hair because, like, again, there's no need for it to be regular. Um, and then also, sunflowers are symbols of happiness, perseverance, resilience. Um, so that's very symbolic because that is one thing I can honestly say about me in my life. I have overcome a lot, I've been through a lot, and I'm still here and I'm still pushing. Um, the yellow clouds are just because I love the way yellow contrasts with blue and the way it complements the pink. I am definitely going for an older, more mystical vibe. Recently, I have not found the book yet. When I find it, I will definitely let you guys know. But recently, I've noticed that my drawings look very similar to this fairy tale book that I used to read when I was a kid, and I used to read the book over and over and over again. And it was a very specific way that the illustrator drew the fairies in the book that makes me think of my work. Um, but yeah, with this being junior seminar, I had to paint this very quickly. To be honest, like completely honest, I painted this in 3 days. Um, Mainly because I had the sketch solidified. Like, I started later than I wanted to, but as soon as I got the sketch together, I immediately went to work because there's no time to waste. And I guess I can thank my professor from the spring semester for preparing me for junior seminar, just because it's a lot of work, it's very demanding, but as long as you know what you want to do, then you could go ahead and get it done. So, the overall objective is by the end of this year, well, semester, we're supposed to have 6 completed paintings and we're supposed to have a junior seminar show. I'll definitely give you guys all the updates on that in case anyone wants to attend, you know, at your own will. But, yeah, I tried out quite a few different things. First of all, this was my first time doing hair that wasn't exactly hair. Then I got a little too overstimulated and was like, hey, what if I put yarn on the edges? I think that'd be really cool. But what ended up happening is I had two different types of yarn that I was working with, and it just started coming off like very gimmicky very quickly. Um, I didn't really like the overall look of this and decided that it was best if I just scrapped the idea. So I ripped off the yarn, did a little close up so you can see the details. Her eyes are white because she's in shock and there's so much she hasn't seen. She's crying because childbirth can be traumatic, and then also not knowing the horror that is this world that we are all being born into. They are good and they're also bad, but at the end of the day, you never know what you're going to get. You just have to deal with it as it comes to you, and that's definitely something that I'm coming to learn being almost 21 years of age. It's definitely been a roller coaster trying to figure out what and how I wanted things to be. And then the hardest part of this piece assembly was definitely figuring out how I wanted to display this. So with junior seminar, a lot of the weight of our grade is being held on the fact of how we display our work. And whenever I graduate from undergrad, I do not plan on going to grad school, but I do want to be a curator. And so, if you don't know what a curator is, curators organize museum exhibits. They can curate different things, but basically, your job is organization, and you have to think of everything from lighting to um, connotative meanings of different things. It's a pretty cool job, and it's something that I've always like kind of had an interest in. But now I'm for certain that that's something that I want to pursue. So I decided to take the display for this piece very seriously, and like how would I like this to be set up in an ideal world if you know money and other things weren't a constraint. And this is how the final exhibit turned out. So we have the blooming woman in the center, we have the sketch, we have two cardstock cutouts, the sunflower and the seed, which I colored with Prismacolor color pencils and alcohol markers. We have a young sunflower in the middle with a sage green yarn to be representative of an umbilical cord and how we're all held to a standard at birth. And we have lots of yarn frillies on the wall just to create some unity in the greenery. But yeah, so this is the first piece, and this is me being really excited. And as always, stay blessed, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!